Want some candy?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
I hear you looking for candy, man, bitch.
Give me some sugar, baby. Like scary movies.
Want some candy?
Hey, Candy Killers, we are 3 of the 8 kings of hell. You have looked to the northwest and called us in. Reject the Trinity and pray devoutly to us. We are here with Shotzi Blackheart and Screamin' E. And I am Dominic Davy. We will give you knowledge of all secret things, bring you honor, wealth, and good familiars. And today, we will talk about Hereditary.
Yeah, bitch. The scariest horror movie ever.
Is it?
That's what everyone's saying.
Is that what everyone says?
That is what everyone's saying.
Do they say that about everything?
I know, right? It's like every year there's a new, that's the scariest horror movie ever. Like, It Follows was one.
Yeah.
Like,
Everything.
What else?
Everything.
The Witch was probably one.
They used to do it with paranormal. What is it?
With Paranormal Activities.
That one
yeah.
always.
Everything.
You know what I always love though is when they
Oh my
bring
God.
somebody like
Ooh.
they film the
I
audience.
just thought about a scene from Hereditary though, and I just like legit got creeped out.
Wait,
Really?
let me guess. It's... Was I right?
Was it that? That was the scene.
It was the scene.
Okay, we're gonna get back to that. So
Okay. I have to admit though, it's been a while since I watched a newer horror movie and could
got
not
you.
sleep.
I got you.
Yeah, it got me. So I was supposed to stay at this apartment by myself that night because the people that lived there were not going to be there, and I had to beg other people to stay over.
Really?
Yes. I couldn't, because I just couldn't.
It scares you that bad?
Yeah.
You're right. They hype every movie as to be scary. That really got you. That got you over the course. So no,
I knew.
Listen.
How did you know?
If you haven't seen this movie, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you haven't seen this movie, go see it. We're not gonna hold back on spoilers with this one because we want to discuss it. We talked about it.
So
for a while.
for people that have seen it, when I said that I legit got freaked out because I thought of a scene, Screamin' E pointed at the ceiling in the corner.
Yeah.
And I immediately was terrified.
Because I know shit.
So for people that get that reference because you watched the movie, are you terrified right now?
It is unnerving.
Are you listening to this in your car and you just screamed? Were you at the gym and you just
Like, as soon as that scene came on, like, most people's eyes would focus on the kid.
Right.
As soon as that scene, I was like,
same.
oh,
Me
it's
too.
right there.
Same.
Me too.
Yeah,
same.
And I hid. I was like, no.
I was like,
no.
I was like, eh.
I saw it even in the dark. Before it lit up. You know what? Okay, but before we get to all that, because this movie's obviously going to be an interesting conversation, it's time for horror news. Horror news! Somebody! Nobody! Jesus.
It's just terrible.
Terrible.
She doesn't even, it's like she doesn't even care. She's like, oh, we're doing this stupid podcast. I'm just going to look at my phone.
I think we threw off a game. She actually screamed. All right, well, starting right off the top, American Horror Story is going to be coming back with a new season, and supposedly they believe it's going to be a crossover season between season 1 Murder House and season 3 Coven, which is my favorite season.
Mine too.
Coven, yeah.
Wait, actually, it's a tie with that and Roanoke.
I am about to start Roanoke right now.
Oh man, bro. Brother.
I'm about to start
it's
it.
so good.
Is it? Okay. All right. I have a love-hate relationship with American Horror Story.
Me too. Yeah. Me 5.
10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag.
Dude, Screamin' E said that to me back when I was talking to him about season 2, Asylum. because I was like, everything in this series I love, but it's just
Right.
too much almost. And I did enjoy the season, but it was like there was just so many things going on, and they didn't quite finish out stories, and they could have just focused. And it was, he said that to me, and I was like, dude, that encapsulates everything about this series.
You know what I
love? Except Coven was, I thought, a really great story.
No, it was. Yeah, until it gets to the end, because I like the first 5 episodes of every season.
Oh yeah.
And
they always
and
fucking
then
just make a hard left, and you're like, what the fuck?
I'm like, what is going on? This was going so well.
Yeah.
Like they're like, which episode are we gonna jump the shark and just
Yeah,
fucking just
exactly.
go
No, that's
off
their
the
formula.
rails?
It's like, oh,
And it always happens.
this is really great. This
I
is
love
really
it when
awesome.
They haven't though. I loved Coven and I loved Hotel.
Roanoke, they keep it pretty.
Yeah, I
Pretty
will never
centered.
forgive them over Carnival.
Because
I got
you know,
so mad at
I'm
them
really
over
mad
that
about
one.
that too, because one of my favorite movies is Freaks.
Oh, dude,
And
Freaks is
they pull
awesome.
so much from Freaks.
Yeah,
We need to do Freaks.
we need to do Freaks. We say it every
I was-
time we stumble on a movie.
I was
we
gonna
gotta make a
suggest
list.
that.
Yeah, Freaks would be a great one.
Freaks is like that I watch on October 1st
One
when
of
I start.
us.
Yes,
One
yes.
Of us. One of us. Yeah. No,
Freaks.
but I will never forgive them for how badly Carnival took that hard left. What you're talking
And
about.
it could have
was
been
so,
such a good.
the setup was so good.
And then they're just
Mhm.
like, hey, let's just start doing a bunch of
So
weird
good.
shit. And you're like, what, why? Let's
Why?
do a musical number
Yeah.
of a contemporary song in a not contemporary but kind of contemporary way.
Don't
And
get me
then
wrong,
just
Jessica Lange is an amazing actress and she has a great voice, and it was super fun to. She's super fun in every scene that she was in during this
it was just
season.
too much.
It's
I'm
not even
gonna
the
miss her.
musical number that I had a problem with, though. It's
Yeah,
like,
no, I,
Well, there was
it's-
so
it's-
many
I mean,
other
it's not
issues.
only that, but I mean that's where it started.
yeah.
Sure.
Murder House
Sure.
was difficult.
That's when you knew you were like, oh,
I sometimes
It's
feel
gonna
like
get
they
weird.
don't understand what the strongest thing about their season is.
no, they
Yeah.
just want to throw a bunch of shit at the wall and be like, what's gonna stick?
Well,
What,
they
what
kind
can
of
we go
they
with?
kind of have like that Rob Zombie mentality.
Yeah, kind of.
We bring up Rob Zombie in every fucking episode. I feel like.
He's gonna have to have him on the show. What if he's listening to the series?
He's
he
like, you
discovered
guys
it?
fucking hate me. Fuck you, dicks.
No, but we're
No.
just
You're
in
a
love
cool
with
guy.
him. That's why we bring him up in every
We're
fucking
actually
episode.
fans.
We like you,
Yeah.
man. You just
We're just
have dropped the
Critical.
ball on some shit.
we're
That's all.
just critical. We're critical fans.
But then you're probably gonna be like, you guys dropped the ball on everything, so fuck you. So I mean, whatever. You know? You say
Whatever.
potato, we say, you do some shitty movies. So what are you gonna do?
You say potato, we say you do some shitty movies. That's one I should make a sticker out of. That's a quote right there. But I love American Horror Story, and I hate American Horror Story, and I watch it all the time, and I'm making my way through them again. I have literally walked away in disgust. I will not finish Carnival, so if you see me, don't even talk to me about that season. I don't even want to talk about it. I'll just
Oh,
tell
it
you
doesn't get
everything
any
I dislike.
better. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's just terrible. And then, but I am interested. They're adding Joan Collins to the show, and that's kind of neat. That's a random. I didn't expect that. And then 5th episode they say is going to be a big, huge one. It's going to be epic, and there's going to be a lot of fan favorite returns. And they kind of liken it to almost like Love Boat, which most people listening may not remember what Love Boat is.
I wonder if they'll do make any weird like Dynasty references since
wonder.
she's on
Yeah.
it somehow.
I wonder if they will. I do think we're going to see a lot of double duty, because I think in the regular season we're not going to see them play those characters. They're going to play new characters. But I bet there's going to be an episode or two where they come in and they double play. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw at least one character like have a conversation with themselves. You know what I mean? Like, they're good enough actors that they would be able to do that. Like, they'd play each part of the scene. I don't know. I'm interested in seeing what they do.
Yeah.
Murder House, I thought, was a great story. That big climax, the big reveal that should have been the end of the movie, the end of the show, the season finale, the big reveal should have been the last episode, and it ended up being like 3 or 4 from the last, and the little girls, the daughter's revelation. But I'm not gonna say because you guys should watch it, I guess. But I think they focused on the wrong things, and
Oh, totally.
I don't know why they had such a great story in there, and then
and then it went.
Asylum had a great story in there. They had 15 great stories in Asylum.
Did you see the one that Lady Gaga was in where she was like a vampire?
Yeah, Hotel.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I love that one.
You do?
I do.
So I watched the first episode of that, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I turned that shit off, and I was like, bye-bye.
It actually was a very interesting play out because the hotel itself is sort of a kind of like the murder house.
Okay.
Where it's sort of a capture zone for ghosts and spirits. But it's
Sure.
also occupied and run by vampires.
Like they like started.
There's a lot of things going on in there. I ended up watching it initially going.
Maybe it gets better. Maybe they do the
I also
opposite
like Lady
in that
Gaga,
season.
and I think she
I
did a
love
really
Lady
great job.
Gaga too, but it like started at the weird shit where like it usually takes half the season to get there.
Their problem is they try too hard
to be sexual and to be weird,
edgy, and like push the envelope.
Sometimes my favorite part is the beginning of the credits, the opening credits of each season, and it's like the scariest and most interesting part. I don't know who they get to film that,
right?
But they're amazing.
It's that part's cool.
Yeah, but I'm always like, it's obnoxious to the point where you're just like, didn't need to be there.
I always joke that they have a bunch of TV writers that don't know anything about horror, and they have this one girl who is like a huge horror fan, and she helps them like develop these ideas. Then she gets so disgusted she like walks out because they just destroy her idea, and she like drinks. She's like drinking herself near death somewhere in Hollywood right now because she sits there and fights for good horror because they have so many good ideas, and then they just choke them to death.
Yeah.
But sometimes when it works so well, and so I'm of course going to watch this stupid show again. I gotta watch Roanoke. I think I'm pretty much caught up. I don't know, because I skip around a little bit. I gotta go back, but I think the series is great. I love the idea that the actors are playing new characters every time. I think that's great. There's so much about it to love, but there's so much I want to choke the people who write it sometimes. But in other news, this came out by the time we talk, where you guys hear this has been out for a couple weeks now, the trailer and the different trailers for Predator. And kind of wanted to talk about it because we watched it and we kind of started to talk about it. And I don't know, so Shane Black is directing this. And he co-wrote it with the guy who wrote Monster Squad, one of your guys' favorite movies.
Stop! Stop it! So Screaming being a dick and keeps trying to scare me, and he's like making hereditary motions. Stop!
That's like really scientific, though. Making hereditary motions. Scientist. That's science shit.
Stop.
So what do you guys think of this new Predator movie? Before we get into
I don't know. I can't think of anything but these gross scenes in Hereditary. Ah!
It looks cool, like aesthetically.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Dude, Predator looks dope though.
But do I have
Predator looks fucking
high
sick.
hopes of the acting and the script?
No, I think it's gonna be the shits.
You think so?
Yes.
But this is written by two people who wrote one of your favorite movies.
I know.
But
I'm sorry.
But it's I'm still not.
I'm also on the same page.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I'm still gonna check it out because I fucking love Predator. And Predator looks good. Like they didn't CGI the fuck out of him or anything.
Like I said,
like,
it totally looks cool and
does.
legit.
I've watched every Predator they've put out.
It just seems like
I'm gonna watch this one.
It seems like the original was a horror movie. Was a sci-fi horror movie in the jungle.
And it almost became such a bad movie when what their initial plan was.
Right.
Where it ended was so much better.
But I mean, it was like, and for the 80s, his acting was what it was, but it was cool.
Sorry, I just suddenly thought of Jean-Claude Van Damme in that terrible outfit. They initially had him running through the jungle and doing all these moves.
But like, just the way movies go now, like this one seems way more of an action movie. in that kind of script. I could be totally wrong because I just saw the trailer, but you know, it seems like that's the direction it's going. Like Transformers, like it's gonna be, let's fucking just blow shit up and be total action.
Mm-hmm.
But again, since it was the people, you know, that did one of the greatest movies in the history of the world, who have a pretty good understanding of horror movies, could totally surprise me. So
we have Predator, Predator 2, Danny Glover, Gary Busey. Then we have Predator versus Alien, Predator versus Alien 2, and then we have Predators, and now we have
Predator versus Predator. Predator versus Super Predator. Yeah. That's what this movie is. Predator versus Super Predator.
Predator versus Super Predator. I have loved all of these movies in some way, shape, or form, and there are weak links in the chain. What do you think is the worst Predator movie?
I don't know. I haven't seen them all.
You haven't seen them all?
No.
I stopped after 2. I mean, I've seen some. I've seen bits and pieces. I saw Alien versus Predator, you know, and then saw some with whatever one Adrian Brody was in.
Yeah. So you missed Predator versus Alien 2, which I think is superior to Predator versus Alien, and then you that's about all you missed. You saw them all. You saw all of them but one.
Well, I only saw bits of the Adrian Brody one. Like, I didn't see it enough to be like. Just that they started doing too much CGI, which kind of bummed me out.
There's a couple things that are off about that movie, but it's not a terrible Predator movie. Yeah. It's pretty interesting.
But I mean, one and I haven't seen Alien vs Predator 2, or maybe I have.
My only problem with Predator 2 is that Danny Glover fights him to the Predator to the death, which is the very thing that Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was how the original movie was supposed to end. And Arnold Schwarzenegger was like, there is no way I am going to be able to kill this monster like that. I have to outwit them. And so he insisted, rightly so, and they rewrote the ending with all the traps and the different ways and the mud and everything like that, because there was, like, Arnold Schwarzenegger was like, there's no way I can fight him like that. And then in Predator 2, they did it with Danny Glover, of all people, who's
already like an old man. Like, he fucking moves like an old man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's fucking Murtaugh. Like,
he plays Murtaugh in that movie.
Yeah, and it's not, you're like, this guy is not a physical force to be reckoned with. Right. Like, Gary Busey was more convincing as, like, I'm gonna kick your ass and get shit done than he was.
Right.
He just moves like an old fucking dude.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So it was in his, like I said, it's like Predator 2 starring Murtaugh.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it was, and it's like, what the some guy who's getting ready to retire from the fucking police force.
Right.
Like, that's what it was. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was just not into it.
So, you guys think Arnold Schwarzenegger is going to end up in this one or not?
Totes.
You think so?
I hope so. Yeah. At least doing some sort of cameo.
They deny it, but some people say
of course they're denying it because it's a big reveal.
Well, let's see what happens. All right, so that's all I got for horror news.
I have some little ones. So, they are auctioning off all of the Ash vs. Evil Dead props. So if you want an Ash vs. Evil Dead prop, go get them. Partner.
That makes me sad.
It does, right?
A little bit.
But there's some cool ones in there, like all of the prosthetic heads of people getting sliced, and the like evil baby, and there's a ass chainsaw and the Necronomicon.
I'd be down to have a Necronomicon, but I mean, you could probably get a Necronomicon if you really wanted one.
I mean, you could get that anywhere.
Yeah, really. But still, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, still pretty cool.
Ash vs. Evil Dead. Yeah. I kind of miss you.
What could have been,
dude?
Last season, solid.
The last season was solid. The Road Warrior concept would have been cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it was gonna end, that was a good place for it to end. As we said,
I can't complain. I can't complain.
So yeah, we'll see. Any other horror news?
In Canada, there's this fuck, I forgot what it's called. I didn't write it down. There's a horror convention, I think, called Frightmare in Canada, and they're putting up an It exhibit, and
Oh, I heard about this.
yeah.
Oh, is that where it's at?
Yes.
No, I heard about. I saw some. I didn't realize that was what you were going to talk about.
Oh yeah, and they are displaying props from the miniseries, including Pennywise's costume.
That's crazy.
That's pretty
You always
cool.
kind of wonder where
like
that
to-
stuff ends up.
Yeah, I wanna look at it. I mean, probably Kirk Hammett owns a lot of that stuff. That's just what I imagine.
Yeah.
Or he will.
Yeah.
He'll be like, ooh, let me purchase this
I will own
with
this.
my Metallica money. All of my Metallica money.
Well, if you're gonna be rich, you might as well have fun.
He's definitely got the coolest shit out of that band, I would say.
Yeah, as far as we're concerned, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well that's it for horror news.
Okay. All right. Funky.
So now,
No! Stop it! Why, guys? Stop it, please.
So this
Stop
really got
pointing-
you.
Stop pointing at things and doing weird. Stop.
it got you.
It did.
And you're
it
tough.
fucking did.
You're
No, actually, I'm not tough.
You're
Everyone,
tough.
you think I'm motherfucking
No,
tough?
she's a
No,
baby.
I'm a pussy ass bitch. I love horror movies because they make me feel this way. I like being frightened.
She's an adrenaline junkie.
But I am scared of the dark. I'm scared of spiders, and this movie
Yeah, so
fucking
am I.
terrified me.
I love this movie, and I was worried that you guys would not like it.
Oh, I didn't love
No,
it.
I can see
I'm not surprised.
I can see why you would think that, because I don't like slow burns.
Yeah, I don't
you
mind
know?
slow burns. I'm good with a slow burn.
Like, I like everything to be boom ba ba blood 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 blah, right from the jump. But this is definitely a slow burn, and it's very psychological, and it's more about the family. It's definitely got that like modern day witch feel.
It's
Like
very
if
much
like
like
the
The
witch
Witch.
was set in modern time, it would be this movie.
This was distributed by A24, I want to say, who also distributed The Witch. And honestly, I feel like there is a kind of a new breed of horror coming out of, a little bit more
The
thoughtful.
smart horror.
And
Smart
I'm
horror.
really happy with what I'm seeing.
Yeah, no, I'm with it.
It's been
I'm with
coming
it.
for a while, and I like it. But I also like slow burns as long as the payoff is really good.
I'm also a big fan of Toni Collette. Right? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Who I never expected.
Okay, maybe
Toni
I'm not
Collette
such a
to
big-
be
such a
so
big-
scary up there.
Seriously, guys, it's fucking midnight.
It's almost 1 o'clock.
It's
in the
almost
morning.
one of fucking clock in the morning. Just stop scaring me for like 2 seconds,
Okay,
please.
okay. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my
I just, all I did was point off to a Dracula poster. That was all that was going on there.
Oh my god.
It is. I never expected Toni Collette to be scary in anything. I like her.
She
but
played this exactly how I thought she would, because I really liked the series. What is it fucking called? Where she has
the
like
United States of Tara.
yes,
Tara, yeah.
that one.
Tara,
Yes,
Tara.
I fucking loved that shit, and she was awesome in that. And when I saw that she was in this one, which I didn't know that she was in it until I went to see the movie. I did zero research on this movie. I like
No, I walked in.
I
with
saw
nothing.
I saw
had
a
nothing.
very like short 10-second trailer, and then
I purposely went in knowing nothing.
yeah,
I
and
wanted
then
to know nothing.
this my friends were like, "Oh, we're gonna go see this movie. Do you want to tag along?" And I was like, "Sure, it's horror, yeah." And I was fucking terrified.
It's terrifying, but you.
And it's beautiful.
It is really well filmed.
Oh my goodness.
And first time, Ari Aster, first time director. First time feature. I mean, he's done some
Amazing.
short films. This was
Amazing.
his first thing. That's his voice on the phone when he calls Annie
Yeah.
about her exhibit date.
I have a lot of problems with this film, but I love a lot about it.
It was
I'm-
definitely entertaining.
Let's talk
But-
about the problems. Starting with
Okay.
you.
All right.
And then
Well,
we're gonna go back to you about this.
Okay.
personally, for me, it was kind of predictable
Mm-hmm.
of like what things were gonna go. Like every time the girl did the, or like just anything
That
like.
meant something was about
Right.
to be menacing.
But just in general,
I like that though.
right. But in
I'm
general,
with that.
in
I
general,
love that shit.
You
in
start-
general,
I love it.
Jesus Christ, I'm gonna stab you in the fucking
It's
face,
so great.
right in the eyeballs. If she doesn't shut the fuck up and let me finish what I'm gonna say. In general,
I
it was
really love it.
predictable.
Yeah, you felt like that came. that came.
Yeah,
They
just
will too
in
quick.
just in general, just when things were gonna happen, like you knew what was gonna go down. That's the thing. It's not that something was gonna happen. It's like what was gonna happen.
The thing, yeah.
That and the end felt rushed. I know it was a slow burn, but there's a reason for why things were kind of like. It seemed like they were like, oh, we need to wrap this up, so let's just start doing shit.
Well, it's supposed to feel like chaos.
No, well, there's a bunch of stuff cut out because it was supposed to be like 3 hours long.
Oh,
The
really?
original cut, but
Yeah.
they said a lot of that was just the
I hope they
communication.
let that out in like the DVD.
Well,
or
apparently it's
something.
just a lot of conversation between the families. What I thought. It was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it would make a lot more sense because there's a whole bunch of stuff like the dad was supposed to be possessed in the movie.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, but nobody would ever think that because he seemed like the only fucking normal one in the family. Like, whoa, but yeah, he was supposed to be like kind of possessed too by shit.
So then they just burned him to cut all that out.
Yeah, there was some other like I just read up on him like, oh, what he was supposed to be.
He seemed like he was like.
That's what I
an
mean.
extension of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of trying to be like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
the sane one. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, I didn't see
Well,
that
he
was
kind of.
left.
That's how I kind of felt with him. He was just like distant from everything.
The only thing that I saw is he was trying to hide the fact that of her mother's grave being desecrated
Right.
from her. But I don't know. I thought that the build up with a lot of like the story of finding out just how tormented you come realize like how much this cult played into Anne's life growing up and how much story the models of her mother bearing her breast for Charlie as a baby.
Yeah.
Or for Charlie, or was it Peter? I guess it's hard to tell, but like you see that little miniature set that she's building of her mother, like bearing a breast, trying to like nurse the baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, that there must have been some crazy. I think they did a really good job of making the mother be this kind of crazy presence behind a lot of stuff. The only thing I didn't see coming was the true nature of Charlie. Like, I didn't see that coming. Like, I didn't realize that the demon was there all along. You know what I mean? Already there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Payman was there the entire time. I didn't think.
Guys, I'm really fucking freaked out right now.
Really?
Yeah, talking about this.
She's
oh my
not gonna
god.
sleep tonight.
It's.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
You know that all these people are like at their homes eating bagels or sleeping by now. Like.
Doesn't
everyone's
matter.
fine.
That's not gonna help. It's not
Doesn't
gonna help.
matter.
No matter what you
Doesn't
say.
matter.
But
When the
I
head
mean,
comes off,
it was
body
good.
comes off.
It was like everything was done well and everything. It's just I felt like they could have started the reveal a little earlier, and it would have made a little more sense, given them time to like.
They could have started bleeding things out a little bit.
You know what I
earlier.
mean? To catch everything up, to tie everything together. That was my thing. Like
car accident, man. Whew.
yeah, but
Yeah.
and who the fuck bakes brownies that don't have drugs in them, or a cake? They're not even brownies. A fucking cake at a party, at a high school party with no drugs, and they're like, you know, it'd be fucking cool. Let's bake a cake, guys. It's like, no.
I don't know. I would have done some weird shit like that.
I've seen people bake regular stuff,
Yeah.
but the nuts thing. My mom is that allergic to nuts.
Yeah.
Like that would kill her. That would do the
Yeah.
exact same thing that
Yeah.
happened right there. Like that's my mom. It's crazy.
I don't buy the
I
fucking
loved how
cake
they
baking
made.
shit.
I loved how they made it so obvious. Like it was super campy and super cheesy. How she was cutting those walnuts.
Yeah, and then using the same knife
Yeah.
to cut the cake.
Like right when I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god, this is hilarious!" And I see where they're going.
yeah.
And he never would have fucking brought his sister. He'd been like, dude, fuck, man.
But it also pisses me off.
And he
'cause
wouldn't have left
if
her.
she's that fucking allergic, why isn't her EpiPen on her all the fucking time.
Right. Or like in the car at least.
Especially when she's not with her parents.
Right.
Yeah.
She's off with her fucking teenage stoner brother. Why wouldn't you put an EpiPen on him?
Yeah.
Well, because then she wouldn't have gotten allergic and he wouldn't have had to rush home and whacked her head off a fucking telephone wall. Did you notice that they had which I didn't see because I'm like, how the fuck can you notice that? Because it was so fast. But the same symbol that was on everything was also on the telephone pole.
Yes.
Did you see that or?
I did.
I didn't even catch that.
What?
It's they show it when they passed it the first time, and it's on the telephone pole later. It's there. Because they even say they corrected it. Like they say they corrected the female body, like that the demon was in, which
Right.
was the wrong body,
Right.
and they knew it, and there was a correction. But I was like, I don't know. I kind of wish there was a little more clear indication that they influenced all of those incidents, because I'm not really sure exactly what they influenced. They clearly did, but like, where they, like they didn't serve the nuts. They didn't set the situation up. I'm not really sure exactly what happened. I didn't expect that part. Like, I didn't expect.
I mean, it was
Charlie to be.
It was a curveball for sure.
Payment.
So which is cool because you're like, you think it's going to be all about the girl, and then fucking 20 minutes into the movie, 30 minutes in, she gets fucking whacked. You know what I mean? You're like,
dude,
what?
that was a burly little scene, especially.
I
like,
loved it.
when just his face.
Yeah.
After I thought the actor.
I loved
what's his
exactly.
name?
I loved exactly what they had him do. The direction there was so good, where it's just like nothing.
Alex Wolff.
No reaction. He just goes to his room. I was like, yes.
He doesn't even turn. He kind of like looks, but like starts to look, but then doesn't. Like,
No,
in the mirror. And
so
he's just,
good.
But he totally looks
struggling.
like. I was like, dude, he's got to be related to. Was it Jonathan Silverman, the guy that was in The Prophecy and Saving Private Ryan?
Oh, I don't know. His name's Alex Wolff.
No, I know they're not related, but he
He has
looks
that look.
just like him.
You know what I didn't realize? So the blood when it's down his nose when he slammed his desk, that's real. That's his real blood.
Really?
He wanted to actually break his nose.
He got
in
all
that
Andrew
scene,
WK on it.
and he was like, I
Yeah.
am willing to break my nose. Let's do it. And director Ari Aster apparently was like, no, dude, you're not breaking your nose. It's going to be a soft cushion desk for the scene. Just don't worry about that. We're not going to have you do that. But then when he's doing it, I guess he didn't get that desk, or he didn't. He throws his head down, and he literally, like, that's it. It's a real desk that he bangs his head. So that head banging into the desk was real, and then him blood coming all the way down. That was his actual blood.
Sick.
Yeah, that was pretty burly. But he was like, that is not made out of foam. That was totally like he just slammed into it with no hesitation.
Show off.
That's crazy. But I mean, he was willing to do it.
You know what we should do tonight is pull an
Have a
all-nighter.
seance?
No. We should pull an all-nighter and watch cartoons until the sun comes
Okay.
It really got you.
up. Yes.
Jeez,
What is it? What is it about this that got you?
Don't
Yeah.
don't even get her started on like The Grudge or fucking
Ah!
any of that shit. Like
Ah!
it's
You
legit.
don't like possession? Is it possession that kind of freaks you out?
It's just creepy shit.
I don't know. I honestly I don't even know because
Yeah.
Her stalking him in that
Stop.
house was an amazing scene. Like, I'm sure it must have hurt like hell with the harness that she probably had to wear
But-
to do that.
stop it. I
But
cannot.
okay.
Think
She
about
just
it.
ran at him.
Right.
No, so
Right.
creepy.
So was it
I haven't been this scared
When-
since I
when-
saw The Grudge.
when he went up into the attic and she was on the ceiling banging her head off the thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Wait. But
Don't remind
was
me.
that her, or was that something else? Because she was in the attic, sawing her head off.
No, that was her. She got in there again because clearly she was possessed by
Right.
Charlie and
But how's that happen, man?
it's fucking demons, dude.
But it's a real body. Can't just go through shit.
It's interesting that she got in there. I don't know how she got
Guys,
in
I
there.
think we have to stop this episode because I'm so scared.
She really got you. So it's just creepy scenes. Like, talk to me about why it's creepy.
No, that'll just make her even more scared.
Fuck.
Really?
Yes.
I'm so impressed. I don't know if we could give the movie a higher rating than that. I mean, it got me jumping.
But I'm weird and like weird random things scare me. Like Like, I don't think The Grudge is a great movie, but like,
But it scared me.
but like creepy girls with long hair scare me.
But Chelsea, you're a creepy girl with long hair.
Exactly. No, but let me tell you something. When I had black hair,
I sell drugs to the community.
When I had black hair and I would come out of the shower, I used to scare myself in the mirror.
Are you really?
I'm not even fucking joking.
It's kind of adorable. Really?
Also,
You really?
showers scare me. Taking showers scare me.
What?
Yes.
Is it because you're vulnerable and naked?
Yes.
Like and all that stuff. So
Yes.
you can't fight back and do
Exactly.
anything? You are a wrestler. I think you're. I think even you, slippery, wet, naked, would be dangerous.
I think about it all the time how I'm gonna like just kick some creepy ghost butt, but like I'm so fucking terrified.
I always. Did you ever see the short film that Lights Out that the movie was based on? That original short where the woman was walking through the hallway and turned off the light and saw the silhouette, turns it on, nobody's
Stop.
there.
Yes, I have.
Okay, but did you ever see the comedy one, like where the two guys, like the two college
Yes,
kids
it's
come
so
back
good.
and they click it off, and suddenly it's in front of them, and they just go, ah! They punch it and
Yes,
start like beating
I
it
love
up,
that.
and the guy runs off screen, comes back with a gun and starts shooting
Yeah,
it. That is
yeah.
amazing. Like that, I think is you. That's
Yeah.
what you would really.
That's what would happen.
You would lose your shit and be
Yes.
like, ah, and attack.
Oh my god. Ugh.
What do you?
It's Donald
you
Duck.
just showed her a Donald Duck. Like you jumped at Donald Duck.
I thought he was gonna show me something creepy.
Oh, it
you
was
guys
a-
cannot fuck with
It
me
was a
right
picture
now.
of a duck
Do not
and a
fuck with me.
cosplaying Donald Duck, which
Like
I
an
actually
actual
met.
duck.
I met a duck cosplaying Donald Duck.
Oh my
He
god.
was a very nice duck.
I can't.
It was at the San Francisco Comic-Con that happened in Oakland, which is kind of like Devil's Rejects 2, 3 from hell. It's just like San Francisco Comic-Con in Oakland. Okay, whatever. Maybe we should have called it Golden State. Anyway,
back to the scariest movie ever.
the scariest movie ever. You know, I will say this is probably the finest horror movie so far released this year. We'll see when Halloween comes out how that does.
Yeah.
But
Oh boy.
when this is a slow burn, guys. This is.
It's
It takes a
long.
lot of time. It's a long movie. It's like 2.5 hours long, and it really milks it,
Yeah.
and it really wants you to get to know the characters and get to know everybody. But when shit goes sideways,
Yeah. I mean, I just have to say that this movie is not that scary. I'm truly just a fucking pussy. And the scares that they do have in there, which isn't a lot, they do really well.
Yeah,
with.
they're good jump scares.
They do.
for people.
No,
for
no,
sure.
but like the thing about the scares in this movie that really freak me out is they let you sit in it.
Mm-hmm.
Where like most horror movies, it's like a quick flash. You see the fucking monster or whatever, the creepy girl, and then
Right.
and then the scene is over or it goes to something else. But like you just stare at the kid in the bed with Toni Collette just creepily hanging in there, and like they want you to see it because they sit you there for 5 minutes and they have her like in the dark where you can't really tell, but you're like, oh shit, fuck that.
Or
Like that's even scarier.
Or like when he was sleeping and the hands came up from behind the bed.
That wasn't that scary to me.
But that's still kind of creepy.
It's creepy. Yes, it was a good scare, but that in the
Oh, yeah,
corner, a shadow, a tiny shadow in the corner, scared the bejeebers out of me, man.
I mean, that was probably the best scary
Definitely,
part in there.
definitely.
For
Like
sure.
there was
That
way
was the big.
there was way bigger scares, like her floating and cutting her head off. Like that didn't really scare me as much as her just being in the corner
Being in
where
the
you
corner
can't even
watching
really
it,
see
and then
her.
quietly. Being in the corner and quietly, moving and stalking him.
You hate The Exorcist
Actually-
3 then.
I actually find it kind of terrifying the concept of somebody just like fully chasing you. Like when he starts running and she's chasing him through the house and even slamming her head against the thing and just
Oh,
like
God.
freaking out. That's
Maybe
a very terrifying
well,
concept.
that one in the corner.
Especially because that's his mother.
I'd say
That's
are
his mom. Like
two
you gotta think
biggest.
about it.
Yeah, when she's banging her fucking head, God.
and,
oh.
and you don't see it. You just
Oh.
think it's her. Like
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
you just think
pounding
she's
it.
going like that, but no. Oh,
and
God.
then it
Oh,
cuts
God.
down, pans down, and she's on the ceiling slamming her head off it.
Yeah.
That was pretty creepy.
That was
But
intense.
also cinematography, gorgeous.
Yeah, it was a beautifully filmed movie.
Gorgeous. Like, I pop for cinematography. Like, just like when when they're at the cemetery and then they pan down to the fucking the dirt, the grass and the dirt, and like just little shit like that. How this film was shot. Oh my god.
Well, you know, I used to have when I was a kid. I don't have nightmares anymore. I just don't. Because when I was a kid, I had a reoccurring nightmare that haunted me throughout my entire childhood.
Oh, the same one over and over again?
It would continue and pick up where the last one left off.
Oh, what was it about?
This happened for years. And this is totally true. I'm not bullshitting. I'm not making this up and connecting this to this. I had a reoccurring dream where I was constantly fighting a creature of mist, red mist, that would possess different people in my dream, turn their eyes red, and then they would chase me. Chase me like that woman, Toni Collette, chases her son through the house and goes crazy.
Like kind of floaty and...
Possessed, and until I had to fight them until they died trying to fight me or I killed them. And then it would just come out of the body, and whoever was nearest, it would possess them, no matter what I could do. And then the dream would end. I'd wake up as it possessed a new body.
That's
and
so
then
scary.
it would start over. And it lasted for like...
That's like It Follows. You lived in It Follows.
Incredible.
That's why you like that movie so much.
It just never stopped. And it went on and on and on until I was 12 years old. And then when I was 12 years old, I was running, and it had possessed this long... I remember almost everybody it possessed. Because I was terrified it would possess a member of my family or my friends. So I constantly ran away from wherever I lived to keep it away from anybody I knew.
Got it.
But it would possess other people. Like, this is totally 100% true. And this is how it ended. This is what gets really crazy.
Did you ever look this dream up, though?
No.
No?
Not really.
Because, dreams mean something, you know?
Well, this is the crazy part.
Okay, go.
So, when I was about, I think 11, actually, I was dreaming it picked up again, and it had died in a car wreck the last time. And I had seen it possess this trucker who was a Samoan guy with long hair. And I just remember him screaming as it possessed him. And I found it, and then when the dream started up, I woke up and I was looking at this giant car wreck with a truck slammed in, and I looked over and I saw him. And he turned, the guy with long hair, the trucker turned, and he had red eyes. And he starts running at me. Like that, like just runs, full-blown run at me. And I'm like, shit! And I start taking off. And then all of a sudden it occurred to me while I was running down the street, I was like, wait a minute, this is a dream. This is the dream again.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I remembered where I was. I wasn't just caught up in the moment. And I stopped and I turned around and he ran up to me and he stopped. Like about almost as far away as you are. And I was like, this is a dream. This is my dream. You can't do anything to me.
Dream Warrior.
No, I swear to God this happened. I was 11
Dream
years
Warrior.
old. And he looks at me and he goes like this. He smiles. And then he nods. And then he walks away. And I never had another nightmare again. I've never had a nightmare since then.
Dude.
Swear to God.
I fucking hate when people tell me about their dreams, but that was awesome.
That is a 100... You could ask members of my family. That is a 100% true story. I've told it the same way my entire life. I've never had a nightmare again. I've had uncomfortable dreams. I've had weird dreams. But I've never had a truly, like, screaming, scared. I just don't... That was so terrifying for so long. And then since then...
And you were just like, fuck it, I'm a dream warrior.
I didn't even think about it in that regard. I just remembered it was a dream for the very first time in my entire life. All of a sudden I was like, this is a dream. This is a dream, and this is my dream.
Yeah.
And I turned around and said, you can't hurt me, this is my dream. And he just like smiled, and he nodded, and he walked away from me, and that was it.
I wonder what that dream meant.
I have no idea. I'm almost... I don't want to say I'm afraid to look it up, but I almost was like, what is that going to tell me? I've never been... I've told other people.
I mean, it was so long ago, but it would tell you something about 12-year-old you.
Maybe.
Mentally.
It was a crazy experience. If anybody knows, I've never shared that story like to this level public, but yeah. And so when watching Hereditary and watching certain movies about possession, I even find Star Trek The Borg uncomfortable because they take people away and then they put the parts on them and then they're a part of the collective and then that's it. Like, I always found that, even when I was a kid watching Star Trek Next Generation, I was like, that's kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
it always made me a little
But is that
uncomfortable.
why you
One-
like It Follows so much?
One thing,
I think so. It's like it's got that same. It Follows made me feel that same way.
it could be is dreaming of being caught up in a mist, which isn't necessarily like your dream, but kind of because
It wasn't me getting caught up in this.
well, you were fighting the mist,
Yeah, I was fighting it every time. I was
Physical-
fighting people.
yeah.
So, yeah.
so it could be a mixture of that, but it could be indicate your confusion about something in your life.
Well, life was pretty confusing. Period. It was crazy, man. So when I see scenes like the scene, like that's why I was asking, like, what freaked you out was the possession, because it kind of makes me uncomfortable even to this day. It doesn't scare me. Like, I didn't scream, but I definitely jumped at some times, you know. And watching her run through the house and bang her head on that and chase him down like that, and it being his mother and it being her being possessed, and it made me I got this weird shiver when I liked the light effect that they did, the room
And
light, how it would possess.
since you would run away from things until or it could be that you're avoiding something in person, like you're avoiding an issue.
But I would fight it in the end. I'd run until I could fight it, but there would be like trying to find something to fight it with, because keep in mind, like, I was having this dream when I was 9, when I was 8, 6.
What were you running from, Dom?
But I fought it. I always fought it. But it like, I didn't know what to fight it with. You know, I was like trying to fight it. Like, the last thing I caused a car accident. It was driving a car to try and drive me down, and it hit a truck.
Sounds like confusion
And
and
then
something you don't want to deal with in life.
It possessed
and
the
you
truck
had
driver,
to.
and then he came after me. I mean, it was crazy. And I mean, I can go back, and some of the dreams were crazy. I remember one time I was dressed like Luke Skywalker in the X-Wing, like an X-Wing pilot, and like, it was kind of space involved and stuff, but it didn't matter. He was still chasing me. He was chasing me throughout, and every dream led into the next dream, no matter how crazy it got.
Wow.
I used to have zombie dreams all the time.
Zombie dreams?
Like where I'd like shoot, like Night of the Living Dead, you're shooting zombies
Yeah.
and whatever, like all the time.
Me
I
too.
haven't in so long, and I'm bummed out. I'm like, fuck, 'cause they were like awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, like I'd be psyched, like it'd be scary. It'd be like legit video game, like in person, you're fucking just popping off
Like
zombies, like, oh, I'm getting attacked.
The farthest back I can think from a dream was when I was like, I don't know, maybe like 5. I had a zombie dream where zombies attacked my birthday party. I also have a lot of zombie dreams.
So, at the end of this movie,
Oh,
do you think that it's Charlie in that body?
Yeah.
Is Peter just gone, or is Peter in there too? Like, did they blend?
I think
Nah,
he's probably
he's
gone.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just Charlie sitting inside that body, which was Payman.
Yeah.
Payman.
Payman.
Even when it's a demon, I fuck up the name.
I was always thinking
So Charlie
Oh,
was never
the Cayman
Charlie.
Islands.
Charlie was always.
Payman or Payman, yeah.
Payman.
Yeah?
Yeah, she was always the demon, or at least
But
most
just
of her
didn't-
life.
But didn't know that
Well,
she was a demon.
Payman didn't choose that body. Like, didn't like a female body, preferred a male body. So one could almost assume that perhaps some of the medical problems that she had, like the allergies and being sick and kind of ill, all came from the fact that this wasn't suited for the demon. But remember, they say that the mother
That's a good point.
wanted to get her fingers, claws into Peter, but she wouldn't let her. At that time, they weren't close, so she never got to associate with Peter. But then when she had Charlie, and she had let her mother in her life again, she was all over Charlie, would barely let her feed her. So I guess the miniatures was a representation of the mother for trying to feed Charlie from her own breast. So by the time she showed there, they used that baby and they possessed that baby. I mean, Anne was clearly screwed up of her when she shares her family history. It's clear the cult was there the whole time.
Feeding her, the mother, not the mother, the grandmother, feeding Charlie her breast milk was part of the possession?
Possibly that, and taking care of, her deity. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, this was the new form.
I just could not stop thinking that the actress that played Charlie looked like she was related to the kid from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Like the whole time, I'm like, oh, it looks like that kid,
Which
but
one?
the girl version, the kid with no teeth.
Oh, I didn't think they didn't look alike. Really, you think that?
Yes.
I didn't think that.
Yes, because she's definitely something going on there.
Well, she's just a kid, you know. But
Well, probably a little more than that, but I thought the
it's
book were
definitely
like, and it took me out of the movie a little bit. I'm like, God damn it.
that's interesting. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. This movie was a great movie. I really think it was just well done.
I mean, it was pretty fun. Like I said, entertaining.
I'm thrilled you guys liked it. I mean, I understand, you know, you guys don't like slow burns as much as I do, and I understand you feel like it was a little slow and there was a rush and looked like they might have cut. Well, it sounds like they did cut a lot and adjusted the story a little bit. I do think there was a certain moment where the movie takes a hard turn and then all of a sudden it's just like...
Right,
And I am
which
a little
is
confused.
cool.
I'm still a little confused at, like, the significance of making her have a seance and what that was doing. Was that calling Charlie in and bringing it back? Like, but Charlie's a demon and kind of... I don't know, there's a couple unanswered questions.
Okay, what confused me about that is... So, first the bitch tells her your whole family has to be there for it to work.
Right.
And then she brings down her family to do it with her, but then she tells them that she just did it and she just had her write
Do it
in
by
the
herself.
book. And she was just doing it by herself. So why did she then need them to come down? And...
See, there were things that seemed a little...
Well, the thing that I think
There.
how they were saying the dad was possessed too, or a part of it, or was supposed to be, because when she tried burning the book, it burned him, and when she tried to burn the book, because she would do the thing, and you could tell when she got possessed, and then when she tried to burn the book, it lit her on fire. That's where he's like, oh, what the fuck? But then she did it to him, and he went up.
Oh, so you're saying that by that time there were some scenes that would lend us to believe by that time he was possessed, that he was the carrier for...
Something of whatever. I mean, he was getting possessed just like she was getting possessed, and
It was after he burned that the light in the room went over the room and then came into her, and she was like, ugh, like it took her over.
yeah. But
it left his body.
So there, I could see there.
But I mean, even she got possessed even when
He
she
was
first brought
acting
them
a
all
little-
brought them all down to do the thing.
Yeah,
You
she
saw
got
her go
possessed.
like, and then she went and got that like get a smirk on her face. Every time she did that, she was getting possessed by whatever.
Wait, when? Which?
He means during the seance scene that they did.
Yeah, Charlie went in her.
Yeah.
Charlie went in her.
Yeah.
I mean,
I did not expect Peter to actually be the target. I thought Charlie was the target. I thought for whatever reason, but that was the only thing I didn't see coming. Like, I liked the idea. I was like, oh, these are witches. This is a coven of sorts, you know, with demon worshippers and stuff. I thought, honestly, it was a really well done movie, though. That makes more sense because it doesn't make sense the way it's set up here that he would burst into flames, other than just to take him out of the way.
yeah,
Which
I
would
don't.
imply that there's some sort of controlling thing. But during those scenes, he's a little bit harsher
Mm-hmm.
than he was during the rest of the movie, so you could almost imply that you could see that there's a little... there could have been some scenes moved that would have massaged that in. That, you know, at some point after... I think I can see where you're saying that there's a little extra. It was in the Act 2.
Yeah, I mean, if they could have just started the turn a little sooner and been able to.
minutes in that movie.
What's that?
I love... Excuse me for yawning. I love that movie, but 30 more minutes. That
Yeah,
movie
I mean, it
would
was
be
long.
a lot.
Totally.
Like I said, that's why
Totally.
they should have just started it a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And cut out like a lot of the other mundane shit that you didn't necessarily need,
Yeah.
and then explained a little more.
Yeah,
It was a slow burn, but I did like the dialogue throughout the movie.
Well, it made all the characters kind of more realistic.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it was suspenseful. I wouldn't necessarily say it was like a slow burn. There was just a lot more of a psychological
Mm-hmm.
kind of deal with it.
Like, at least they weren't speaking Old English.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys didn't like that. I remember.
I really did not like that about the witch. The bitch.
But Yeah, it was fun. I think people should definitely go see it. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the scariest movie ever or anything.
You know, it was projected. One last thing, it was projected to make $5 to $9 million in its opening weekend. Well, they figured they'd get something like The Witch or It Comes at Night, which was also distributed by A24.
How was It Comes at Night?
It's good. I liked it.
I haven't seen it. Is it kind of like the same deal? Like a
yeah, we're in the ballpark.
like a smart horror.
Yeah, yes, but like I guess it made $5.2 million on its first day.
Okay.
Including $1.3 million from Thursday night previews. Weekend estimates were increased to $12 million. It went on to make $13.6 million, finishing fourth at the box office, behind Ocean's 8 and Solo and Deadpool 2, making it the best ever opening for the A24 title. And then it did $7 million in the second weekend, and it's grossed $35.4 million in the United States and Canada. So it's a big hit for them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, it was good.
I can't say a better selling point on how scared it scared you.
I'm fucking terrified.
So on that point, how many zombie candy corns are you gonna give it?
4.
It's your rating system.
It's hard to say. Maybe like a 3.9.
3.9.
I mean, hey, if you could do half creepy, cute little zombie gamers, why can't you do almost a whole one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, it's
acceptable.
math. So
I think that's surprisingly low for somebody who screamed twice during this podcast.
Okay, but I find stupid things scary.
Okay.
Like fucking The Grudge, I think is the scariest movie in the entire universe.
First off, don't fuck over a grudge. But yes, the movie, I don't know. I didn't see that movie, didn't register for me as very scary. I just thought it was kind of interesting.
hence.
Terrifies me.
Yeah.
Terrifies me. I think it's a terrible movie, but it fucking terrifies me. This movie terrifies me, but I think it's a good movie.
It is a good movie. What about you?
I would give it like 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
Just because there was some shit that didn't make sense and how shit hit the fan, like all in the, it's like not exactly the same, but kind of like the Godzilla movie where you're like, what the fuck's going on for this hour and a half, and then the last 30 minutes you're like, oh, holy shit, this was what I fucking
wanted.
sat through the fuck movie. I mean, it was better than that,
Yeah,
though.
but Godzilla, that ending,
Yeah,
so worth
I mean,
it.
the payoff's good and everything, but
So worth it.
I kept getting mad because at the time it like closed the doors or it'd cut away and then it'd be on TV, the fight, and I'm like, what are you doing? I don't care about this family.
Oh,
and
but
this
then
child.
they're ripping open the mouth and
Yeah, that was cool.
So I'd say 3.5, just because there was some shit that I did not like about it, you know. But I mean, it was fun, some good scares, and entertaining. So, you know, I'd say it's a solid movie, and it's not one I wouldn't own it. You know, I don't think there's a lot of replay value in it for me, but to go see.
I'm debating on owning it because there's a part of me that wants to start a collection of some of these movies, like The Witch,
Smart
Come to Mind,
Horror,
like Get Out. I also include into this like I include some of the movies that came out a couple years ago, like the House of the Devil. I think should be in there. I really love that. I love. There's a few out there that I think are just really good. You know, We Are Still Here, but I enjoy these kind of movies. So I'm gonna give it, but I acknowledge in this conversation during this podcast, I acknowledge that there are some confusing elements right in the middle that kind of clunk it down. So I'm gonna go with a 4.5, right in there, like 4.25 maybe. Like, I don't mean to be so thick. I think it deserves a lot of recognition for how effective it is and what it's doing, and it's the kind of horror I'm glad to see in 2018.
Yeah.
And kind of somebody who obviously made... The people who made this love horror and were trying to do something cool.
Love horror and, like, wasn't, you know, like, wanted to put some artistry in it.
Yeah.
I totally appreciate that.
They were going for it. And
like, not just some cheap, we're just gonna do whatever, we don't give a shit about the script. Like, they gave a shit about this.
Yeah, no, they were into it. So I'm really stoked about it, and so that's my rating. So I think it's right there across the board. It's worth seeing. It's worth checking out. It's going to be up to you guys if you feel like it's a real play, you know, something you're going to play over and over and over again. But it's definitely a classic, I think. I think it's going to go down as a classic. I think it'll be included in the lists of great horror movies moving forward. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Monster Candy Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have comments about Hereditary, hit us up on our social media or directly. We're going to be getting our website a little bit more beefed up. Hopefully by this episode, maybe it is. Working on it, making it kind of nicer and putting a lot more in there. And hopefully you guys will be talking to us over there. But who knows? I don't know. Depends. Whatever. Yeah.
Suck my peanuts.
Sucker peanuts.
There's a lot of peanuts and walnuts and shit going on.
Basically her nuts.
Yeah.
A lot of nuts. A lot of Shotzi Blackheart nuts.
Yeah, I hope you're allergic.
What's that in the corner? All right.
Stop! Oh my
No, I was
god.
just kidding. That's
I
it.
hate you.
You've been listening to Monster Candy Podcast. Want to find out more about the show? Find us on the web at monstercandypodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching Monster Candy Podcast. And you can find our Twitter at MonsterCNDYPC. Hey, we couldn't fit the whole name. What do you want from us? Let us know what you think of the show and if we're right or if we're wrong or what you want us to tackle next. We want to hear from you. Well, Shotzi and I do, but I can promise that E doesn't really care. To find out more about Shotzi Blackheart and her professional wrestling, follow her Twitter at Shotzi Black or her Instagram at Shotzi Blackheart. You can follow Screamin' E's band, the Memphis Murder Men, on Facebook at TMMM official page or his Instagram at Screamin' E. That's screaming with no G, add the E. For me, Dominic Davy, you can find my artwork at dominicdavy.com, my band Tsunami Bomb at tsunamibomb.net, and you can hear my other podcast, 3 Gigs, at 3gigspodcast.com or on the same platform you're hearing this podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Monster Candy Podcast.
Who's gonna take care of me?
You don't think I'm gonna take care of you?
But when you die,